Hello, everybody. And we just got some really bad news. The remainder of the World Junior Championships will be canceled. Canceled. 2022 World Junior Champ. Oh, that is so disappointing. Oh, that is too bad. Wow. Hey, did you hear the news, Kyle? World Junior Championships are canceled. Jason Cowan, the World Junior Championships are canceled. They're canceling it altogether. What a waste. Holy crap. That is unbelievable. Everybody goes out there, you play some games and boy. That sucks. I'm sorry. I loved watching the World Junior Championships. Oh well. I was going to talk about the World Junior Championships. Yeah, doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now. Hey, Lauren. World Junior Championships are canceled. No games at all. The whole thing is canceled. I'm going to do a quick short here. I'm on my live stream right now, and I just got the news that the World Junior Championships are canceled. Man, does that hurt. I love the World Junior Championships. What a waste. Okay, bye. I'm doing a short right on my live stream. I'm really disappointed. I'm so disappointed with this. Yeah, that is really disappointing. So disappointing. I don't even know what to say. I don't know if you guys know, but in Canada here, like the World Junior Championships are absolutely enormous. Like they are a huge event here. It's like almost like the Stanley Cup. Like we really love our World Junior Championship champions here. Like as much as we like watching the Olympics or anything, we love the World Junior Championships, and you get up for it, and you're really can't wait to see the next game, and then so disappointing, so disappointing. I just did a short. Yeah, they should have had a playoff style bubble. Yeah, they should have had a bubble for sure. It was the IHF that canceled it. The Canadian government, well, I suppose they could. But it was a combination. The IIHF said they had more strict rules than Canada did. So, yeah. I think it's even harder because, these are kids. This is one of their dreams, to go play at the World Junior Championships is for a Canadian kid, for any kid playing hockey now, any kid that playing hockey is like it's like a dream come true. And now it's like, wow, so bad. Okay. Well, the reason why with junior is they don't have any backup players. In the NHL, you got backup players that you have on a taxi squad or however they do it. Juniors, they didn't. But why couldn't they? Why couldn't they have sent some backup players? I don't know. It got muddy. I'm sure there was a lot to it that I don't know, but it's really unfortunate. That's the other thing, too. That's the other thing. Like, this is a big tournament for guys to make, to show how they can do against the best of their age in the world, so they can get drafted higher. And it's huge. It is absolutely huge for these guys. I think they should reschedule it. They shouldn't cancel it. They should reschedule it. But oops, I didn't mean to hide that. I meant to unhide that. Do it again, sorry. I didn't mean to. I pressed the wrong button there. They should have stayed, had extras and everything like that. Yeah. For sure. No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm no expert in that sense. I really don't talk about it much here because for me to say that I'm an expert at it or to say that I actually know what's going on, I don't. My wife is a nurse. I know what she saw. She saw some pretty horrific stuff. So that's all I know. All I know, my wife saw some pretty horrific stuff when it comes to COVID. So she got it herself. I had to take her to the hospital. My wife got COVID. I had to take her to the hospital. She could barely breathe. Like she's gasping for air, like they all say. So I didn't get it. I was with her for 4 days. Never got it. Wasn't a carrier. Wasn't anything. Never got it. Never touched me. But she was working. She was working in a place where, like, everybody had it. Everybody. There wasn't a single person that wasn't sick where Caroline worked. And I mean sick, crazy sick. It was pretty unbelievable. Like, she couldn't believe it. She didn't even think it was a virus. Like, she came home one day and said, "This isn't a virus. This is something else. I've never seen anything like this in my life." So, yeah. We went to the hospital. She went there for a short while. She came back. She made it through all right. Everything was fine. But the people in her place where she works as a nurse, they never had any fatalities, but it was pretty unreal. So, anyways, let's get So we got the games from last night. I mean, what do you say about that? The Lightning again. The Lightning again come in and just take the other team for granted. They don't play like what the most aggravating freaking team to watch. How many times do the Tampa Bay Lightning have to come in with no jump whatsoever? Just like we're going to take I don't know what it is with these guys. They should have absolutely destroyed that Montreal team last night. All they had to do is get on them early, break their spirit. After that, they would have been fine. But they didn't. Now, I know they had a poor goaltender in there. But, oh yeah, everybody has it different, Lauren. I never even got it. I slept beside my wife for 4 days. Didn't know she had it. And I never got it at all. She got really sick. Some people do, some people don't. I can't explain it. Braden Point had a great game, but overall that team played like horseshit. Sorry for the cussing, but that team played horrible. I think maybe it's because they had Lagasse there, and he looked like he was shaking. Like he didn't, and maybe that was throwing them off a little bit. They knew that they couldn't really give too many shots up, and so they were kind of afraid to play aggressive. Maybe that was it. I'll give them that, but it's just happened so many times with the Tampa Bay Lightning that they do that. Like if you got a goaltender like that and you're playing a team like Montreal, run and gun with them now. Run and gun with them. Like your goaltender is going to stop a certain amount of it, and they don't really have all that many shooters there. Like you got points, you got Stamkos, the player, you got way better defense. You know, play aggressive, beat the crap out of them. If you lose the game, at least you did so aggressive, not looking like the crap they had last night. That was sick. Like I would rather lose the game and look like I'm a champion than play a garbage game like that. That was ridiculous. Well, I had it in my head that I have it in my head. I believe in mind. It's the power of the mind, and I know I'm not going to get it, but that's another thing altogether. I don't want to get into that. Well, I mean, when did they start? Well, I didn't see the very start of the game. I must have missed that part because what I saw of the game, they played way back on their heels. They were coughing the puck up everywhere. I don't know. You didn't think that these young legs were going to skate or what? Like, it's all you had to do was outskate them. Yeah, they were young legs. They were young guys that were happy to play their first games. You know, they're playing in Montreal. They're feeling no fear. They're just going out there and playing their butts off. They got nothing to lose, right? If they play poorly, then they're going to get sent down. If they play really well, they're likely going to get sent down. They're just happy to be there. So all you got to do is break their spirit right off, and I don't know. Tampa Bay does that all the time. You can't tell me that if Tampa Bay plays to the top of their game, that game isn't even a game last night. Like even with their poor backup in that. I never had issues from the vaccine either. I don't know. I guess I have when you're talking about a championship team, I got high standards for a team like that. And that it's I could see like you might see like say the Pittsburgh Penguins for instance. If the Pittsburgh Penguins had the talent that Tampa Bay had on their team, they'd win a cup every year, and they don't do crap like that. Maybe once the one time I took it that game against Buffalo, maybe once a year they have a groaner, and it's still not that bad. Tampa Bay does it all the freaking time. All the time. You can almost say, if it's a game they should win, you should almost avoid it because they're probably just barely going to win or they're going to lose. I know. They're back-to-back championships and they're so inconsistent. You're so right. It's frustrating to watch. But anyways, I'm off. I keep on saying I'm off of them, but I was on them last night in reg, of course. Maybe they're just trying to tick off people. Maybe they got something against people that gamble or something like that. They just do it on purpose. I don't know. It's freaking ridiculous. Yeah, Braden Point got 2 last night. He looks like he's in fine form. Was ready to play last night. Ross Colton potted 1. Cale Clegg potted 1 for Montreal. He's looked really good since he went there. Looks like he has a lot of confidence right now. And I think they're playing him quite a bit too. 18 minutes, not bad. Romanov and Savard. Even David Savard scored 1 last night. And Molten Bull was in net. Thank God for that for Tampa. Because if Molten Bull didn't have a terrible game or anything, but, you know, it very seldom is Molten Bull going to win you one. And Corey Perry had a good game. He was there last night. It was, I can't put my, it's just, Jason, we were talking about Day yesterday. Sean Day. He played 6 minutes. That's all he played. So they were relying heavy on their top 4. And Manny Legacy, he did not look good. Let's face it, he didn't look good. He didn't look good. Yeah, that's true. If they don't have Vasky in net, they don't play well. It's like they don't know what to do. Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's still got a few years yet. He's big. He had some really big saves last night. He looks like one of those guys that, you know, might be like really late, like 27, 28. He'll be a solid backup. There's a lot of Molten Bull that's gotta find a way to be in the right sync all the time because that's one big boy. And he's trying to move super quick. So getting the balance and everything and speed up at the same time to be an NHL goaltender takes a lot of work. He looks better than he looks better every year. That's one good thing. After 5 days now, yeah. Yeah, that was good. That's good. Well, I mean, yeah. You got, I mean, I know you got a really great goaltender like Bassey, but one day he may be injured. That's the other thing. Bassey's never injured. And then what are you going to do? You got to learn how to play without him. Again, I'll take Pittsburgh's system and way of playing and the way they, as a championship team over Tampa Bay any day. They just, you know, they haven't been able to have the top-notch players to do it because of cap space and players getting older and stuff like that. But I'll take that system any day. They made the playoffs last year with the shaky Jari, and now Jari's playing really well in front of him. Take Jari, put him in Tampa, and see what happens. The way they play without Vasilevsky, they probably wouldn't even make the freaking playoffs. The Capitals have Wilson, Backstrom, and Kuzi. Yeah, I don't know. I think Nashville might take that tonight. Oh, everybody knew that. You got to use medical masks for sure. Yeah. All right. So I wouldn't doubt it, and there's no excuse for that. They got a strong enough team without Vasi. They should be able to play better. In the regular season, like last year, Vasi was everything for them now. Everything. And that shouldn't be. You got a lineup that's pretty solid. I think a whole bunch of guys came off the protocol. Johansson came off of it. It's Josie that's the big thing. But there's a good example. Nashville, that team shouldn't even be close to a playoff spot. On paper, that team should not be close to a playoff spot. I'm taking Nashville not. I think Duchesne is supposed to be in tonight. Yeah, it's Josie that's the biggest problem there. I got the Panthers more because Washington still has some guys out, especially on defense, and it's more to do with the fact of the way Nashville is playing. I'll tell you what, Washington better come out to get their ass kicked tonight. Like, I mean, physically speaking, because Nashville is going to beat you silly. Nashville's going to beat you to the puck if you're not prepared to get beat to the puck. Like, Nashville would kick Tampa Bay's butt right now. Totally. Just smoke them all over the ice. Because those guys are playing with heart right now. And it doesn't matter who's in the lineup. They're playing with heart, speed, anticipation. They're beating people to the puck. That is like 80% of hockey. The other 20% is skill. If you're not doing that, it doesn't matter how much skill you have. You're not going to win. Look at the Edmonton Oilers. If they're not beating people to pucks, they get their butt kicked all over the place. And Nashville is beating people to pucks, like right now. Oh yeah, I think Nashville would ruin Tampa Bay if they get. They should be playing them soon too. Carter Hart's out. Yeah, I like that's going to be an interesting game. Grubauer and Jones. Grubauer and Jones. Philadelphia, I don't know what to make of them yet. Seattle, I believe, has quite a few people out, like on defense and stuff like that. I mean, that's a game Philadelphia's got to have. They got to win that game. But they have no Coots, no Couturier. Hayes is going to have to be the number one center tonight. Giroux is going to be number 2. And Tanev is out for the rest of the season for Seattle. Yeah, that seems like an over, even though it's a 6. The St. Louis Edmonton game, 6.5s are hard, but you got to figure. I mean, how is Smith going to be the first game back? He hasn't played in a while. Oh yeah, I don't. If the Canes don't destroy that game, then there's something wrong with the universe. I don't know what the heck to say. This has been the weirdest year, though. Like, almost for sure wins are not coming in a lot. Everything's going into overtime. Everything. I think St. Louis wins. Edmonton's defense blows. I don't like the Panthers today. I'm coin flip on the Ducks. And I already said I think Nashville will beat the Caps. Bobrovsky's just garbage. Sorry, they've been losing every time. He's just getting. He played well for a little bit, and now he's back to being garbage again. Yeah, I did make a Phil Kessel trade video. I left out the LA Kings on purpose because I knew that Hajin would come in and say something. But I think we were just talking about Nashville. I think Nashville's a possibility. They could give up very little, maybe because they've got the cap room to take them for 1 year. So they wouldn't have to, because they wouldn't have to give anything back to them to make the cap work, they might be able to pull them out for a third. And I don't know what Nashville's going to do. Like, I was just talking to the Nashville guys there. They basically said, well, they can't rebuild because they don't want to lose the fan base that they're building, but they're a bubble team and probably going to be a bubble team. How long is this fan base going to live with being a bubble team? You know, isn't it just as bad, really? I don't know. Is the fan base in Nashville, to me, they seem like the type of people that would go to the game no matter what. They just like to go have fun. I don't think they're it's so necessary for Nashville to win all the time, for them to have a good time at the game. That's what I get from it. But I could be wrong. They probably got a better read on their fan base than me. But what do you like? They got to reach for the fences somewhere along the line here, I would say, because all their prospects are middling. Yeah, probably 6.5 is a lot, but could very. I might think over. No, I don't think Kessel to Ottawa is a possibility. Ottawa's not going to be close to the playoffs still. They have a good run, but I don't think they're going to. You got it at 6? If it's at 6, yeah, for sure. Let's see. I saw it at 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. 6.5 on Betway. Whoops. And I believe just about every. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Total. I don't see a 6 anywhere, bud, except for on opening app. That is like the best. If you can get opening, they got Jersey Buffalo 5.5. I kind of like. I'm wondering about the Rangers. Is Shesterkin going to be in net tonight? That's the reason why I like the Rangers. Florida hasn't been playing great. Now they've had a break, but are they going to be better now? And they'll probably won't tell you to the last second if Shesterkin is in. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, that it kind of surprised me everything went that over last night. Like San Jose and Arizona, that surprised me. You got Reimer in there, but I guess, I mean, everybody's going to be looking at over now after what happened last night. I think everybody's going to be hitting over a lot. But I don't see the taxi squads making much of a difference. I don't think Kessel to Ottawa. I don't think Ottawa is going to be in it. They have a good run, but I mean, they're going to have good little spurts and runs, but their defense is just not good enough. So, is Forsberg going to be able to hold up through a whole season like that? Hey, CL, how you doing, bud? Welcome in. Who else should I have in there? I had Minnesota. Kessel going to Minnesota is a possibility. Yeah. The reason why I had Minnesota was because if they can't find they're going to need a rental. They're going to want somebody. Oh, Shesterkin's a beast. And Bobrovsky is the opposite of beast. So, and Rangers are playing well enough. And Florida really hasn't been playing well the last. I think it's really affected them that they lost Quenneville. This coach is not the same. I mean, it's hard when you lose a great guy like. When you lose it, it's 230 ml. Do I think Tarasenko gets traded? If they can get the right deal, I seriously think they're trying with all their might to not trade him. Apparently, he hasn't backed down and said he wants traded. But the problem was that if he really wanted traded that badly, he offered them 10 teams that he would get traded to. He demanded to be traded and also upheld his 10-team no trade or 10-team trade list. So he really doesn't want to get traded that fast. So I don't know. I think they're really trying to hope the hell he changes his mind. But as of I've heard so far, he hasn't changed his mind. And so to answer your question with a lot of words, I think that it likely will go to the trade deadline because I think they're going to just hope the hell that he changes his mind all the way to the end. I don't know why they're so heavily favored. I know Barkov is back, so that helps. From what I understand, Barkov is back, but Huberdeau is out. Yeah, Barkov will be back. Oh, Huberdeau's in. Oh my God! Now Huberdeau's in. I gotta change my bet. Well, no wonder they're heavily favored. Holy crap. How did Huberdeau get in so fast? He just went on COVID like last night. Ah, man, oh 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 man. No, he went on protocol yesterday. I don't know if I got to keep on holding on to that now or not. I think I got to get out of it. I hate doing that, but if those guys are in, let's see. I'll see if I can find that. See where it says that. Come on. Florida Panthers add Jonathan Huberdeau and 3 others to COVID protocol. December 28th at 11:20 a.m. December 28th at 11:20 a.m. They go on COVID protocol and they're off protocol like right away. Okay. Well, that's crazy. Now I got to look over. I never heard anything about that. Yeah, I mean, Shesterkin could hold him in, but I mean, at home with all those guys back, I don't think I like Florida anymore. I don't think I like the Rangers anymore. Certainly not ML. Now I don't know what to do because I still think the Rangers can win that game. Like Florida was playing that bad, but getting off back is huge, 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 huge. Yeah, they should have did the bubble, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm pissed. I'm really pissed now. That was like a great pick. Now it's this COVID stuff makes it tough to do this stuff. It's a 6. I gotta go with that. Yeah, I could definitely see a PL. Maybe I'll do that on here. At least do that. Yeah, I like the over. With all that firepower for Florida, now you watch, the Rangers are going to win that game. Anyways, Bobrovsky is so poopty, but probably probably be an over now, because Florida's got enough to get at least 2 by Shesterkin, and Bobrovsky's just a pile of trash. I wouldn't doubt that the Rangers still win. Yeah. Yeah, it's just when you're talking about a Florida team that's getting Barkov and Huberdeau back, like you look at who they've been playing. Let's look at who the Rangers were playing. Okay, so they had Vegas. They kept that tight. Arizona was tight. Couldn't do it with Colorado. Nashville was actually they and Buffalo. Nashville, I could see, is always usually under anyways. Buffalo, that's barely now, but you're talking. The only one that they did in an impressive fashion was. No, you said PL and the over. Vegas Golden Knights wasn't over. Arizona wasn't over. Colorado was. Everything else was under. Well, I mean, it does matter to a certain extent. If you're gonna do it that way, you might as well just take take all the dogs, pretty much. You gotta think that Florida's. I don't know. Is Florida going to be better? It does make it tougher right now because Florida could come out with a new outlook and be better. Bobrovsky could maybe have a good game or whatever, but my thinking is Bobrovsky will probably not be very good, and Bobrovsky probably will not be very good. Shesterkin hasn't played for a while, so he might be a little rusty. So I think the over is the best play. I was all over it when Huberdeau was going to be out, and they had a few other guys going to be out. But now that they're all back in, no, I'm not taking the Rangers now. No way. especially a 6. 6 is pretty good there. Possibly the same for Nashville, Washington, too. Samsonov is so inconsistent. Washington, to me, maybe it's different this year because it seems like Laviolette has got this team a little more disciplined than usual. But it used to always be that when Washington had time off like that, they were poop for their first game back. Well, I don't know if it's quietly. Everybody is surprised that they're playing as well as they are, but the Canucks are playing very, very well. The Canucks ever since, I mean, they haven't lost a game ever since how come his name? The hell's his name? French. The coach that they just got. My brain. What the hell happened in my brain? Boudreau. Ever since Boudreau took over, they haven't lost a game. Now, how well are they going to be prepared for this one? I mean, both Dallas Eakins prepares his teams very well. And I would say that Dallas Eakins would probably be the better coach for having his players be more disciplined over a break. Because Boudreau's sort of loosey-goosey, have a good time, guys, stuff like that. But they're really playing well for him. No Zegras for the Ducks. But I think Vancouver's without several defensemen. Oh, Ekman Larsson's going to be in. He was going to, and Tyler Myers. Wow, on the road, Demko against Gibson. I think that's a coin flip. Without Zegras in, I think that's a coin flip. Yeah, they haven't even said who's going to be in instead. No Enrique either. No, okay, Jones has been out for a while. Zegras, Comtois, Sam Steele. I'm going to say Vancouver. I'm going to say Vancouver pulls that one out. I think they're going to be driven. I think they have more to lose. Vancouver does. I think there's more on the line for them to keep on winning right now. So I think their focus over the holidays would be a little more. How do I explain it? They are more likely to be more disciplined over the holidays. I think Anaheim might have a feeling that they're kind of doing pretty good and stuff like that, and maybe a little more loosey-goosey over the holidays. I think that this Vancouver team and Boudreau's been around a long time. I think he would have them saying, guys, have a good time, but don't have too good of a time. We have a lot of work to do, and we need to show that we can be disciplined over the holidays, and we can surprise a bunch of teams on the way back, because that's what I mean about Washington. Washington isn't the most disciplined team in the world. Hasn't. And Tampa Bay obviously isn't either. So, but they like to have fun. This year, it has seemed to be a little different, though. So I'm a little concerned about the Preds here. But I'll tell you what, the Preds, that team is going to be on point tonight. The Preds are going to be on point tonight. For sure. No doubt about it. Because they always are. It's like the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're on point every night. They may not have the talent to win that game, but they're not going to get outworked or out. You're not beating them to pucks. You're not beating the Pittsburgh Penguins to pucks. You may get there at the same time, and there may be a lot of fights for the puck, but you're not going to see Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators do like the Edmonton Oilers, where they're half a step behind getting to the puck. Or the Tampa Bay Lightning, when they go through their periods like that. Or, a lot of other teams. They're just not like that. So if Washington's half a step behind tonight, Nashville's going to blow them out of the water. And they've shown in the past in situations like this to be half a step behind. To have maybe a little too much fun over the holidays and be a little bit off energy-wise. So we'll see if that actually happens, but I've seen it enough times. Tampa Bay, I don't know why. I seem to be able to do that for every team, but then when it comes to Tampa Bay, I bite way too often. Way too often. The NHL should go in at least. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, they think that this COVID thing's going to go through really fast, and it's going to be fine in 2-3 weeks. So I don't know. I don't know, dude. I still haven't did last night's games yet. I got to Montreal. I did my rant on the Montreal. I couldn't. I didn't even watch the Golden Knights Kings game. I went to bed early. Wanted to make sure I got up for the gym today. But if anybody watched that game, what I did see of Vegas, they were flying pretty good. Marchessault, Carlson, and Smith line potted another one. Chandler, Stevenson. What's this team going to look like when Eichel is in there, man? Holy crap. Like, you're going to have Chandler Stevenson as your a point-a-game center as your third line center. That's where he's going to have to be. I don't think they're going to play Eichel in the third line. That lineup is going to be stacked. And I really think LA is not really all that bad of a team. Quick had a bad night. Okay. He only stopped 10 of 15 to start. Then Sparks came in and played really well. Wow. Sparks had another good game. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's going to happen unless, like Lauren, Minnesota getting another goaltender is going to be pretty tough because, he makes quite a bit of money as it is. And they would have to trade him to get another goaltender. I just can't see it happening. They're waiting for that kid. They're waiting for that Swedish kid. That's probably what they're going to do. They have no choice. I mean, how are they going to get a really good goaltender right now? Talbot is Yeah, he's less than average, but I don't see a way that they can get a really good goaltender. Vegas will have one good line. Come on, buddy. I know you don't like Vegas, but that's ridiculous. The one good line. They already have they have one good line. Their second line is one good line. Marchessault, Carlson, Smith. There ain't nothing wrong with that line. And then Eichel, Pacioretty, and Stone. I mean, that's just freaking insane. And then put Stevenson down with who else is out? Carrier and Colasar. And then Nicholas Roy with whatever combination you want in your fourth line there. I'd say they're doing pretty good, bud. I'd say that's a pretty strong line. I think the reason why you're saying that is you know that they are the team in the East or in the West that is going to give Carolina its biggest run. Yeah, it'll force them to trade out some talent for sure. No doubt about that. But, I mean, Riley Smith won't be back. That's $5 million off the cap right there. So you fill it out. They had their young guys play a little bit this time. You fill that out with a young kid. I'm sure they can figure it out somehow. Let's see. What can Vegas do next year? You got $10 million. It'll be $10 million on Eichel. Like I said, Riley Smith won't be back. So there's $5 million. Evgeny Dodonov. Just find a way to trade him. You don't need him. And there's your $10 million. The kids that they have coming up are just as good, if not better, than Dodonov. Smith will hurt. But if you got Eichel, Pacioretty, and Stone, that line alone will probably get you into the playoffs. My thing with Vegas is going to be, can Lehner do it? He hasn't been that great. That'll be, to me, the biggest problem that they have. He hasn't been that great this year. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dodonov they're going to have to trade. That's going to be a tough trade. Because he's not having a great year. This year, you probably, I don't know, try to get, maybe Arizona needs to reach the cap. They can try it. That was a bad move by them. I don't know what they were doing there. I think they keep Trocheck, but Nino, no. Nino's gone. It just seems so likely that Nino's gone. No, Nino, they'll keep Trocheck. It depends on what Trocheck wants. Carolina has showed it over and over again. They're only going to pay you a certain amount, and if you don't like it, then you're gone. They don't even think twice about it. That's what I love about them. They have their cap. They have what they, this position's going to get this much. This position's going to get this much. And this is how we're going to fill our roster. If you want more than what that position we're paying for, then you're gone. And we'll find somebody else that can do it for that price. That might be the only way to do it now in a cap world. And you'll end up having to take less. So is Trocheck going to be willing to take less to stay in Carolina? I have a feeling he's not, because I think that's why he got traded out of Florida, is they could tell that his salary demands what he wanted were high. Where's Carolina? But Carolina will stick to their guns, and I don't know if they'll trade him at the deadline because they need him. But what was he getting? 4.5. He's got 19 points in 29 games. He's a center, a good two-way guy. He did have almost a point a game last year. I think he can easily pull 7.5 or 8 on the open market. So it's up to them if they think their second line center is worth $7.5 or $8 million. But Nino for sure is gone. I don't think they want to pay him any more than he's making right now. And he probably will make more than that on the open market. Trocheck will want more than 6. Trocheck will want more than 6. Like, if the Islanders, what's his name? The Islanders there. Just look at some other guy. Look at second line centers around the league. And, think about what they would be making if they signed right now. What's his name? What's a couple of good comparables here. Braden Shen's making 6.5. Braden Shen's making $6.5 million, and he signed that, 2 years ago? Now, let's see what his numbers. Maybe they might be able to get away with 6.5. And Braden Shen's never had close to a point a game in his career. Comparable stats puts him at 7, somewhere around there. I'm not sure KK's ready to be a second line center. Maybe they do. I think that might be why they did do that trade, is they know they're not going to be able to sign Trocheck. They probably already talked to him. He says he wants $7.5 million. Some team's going to give him 7.5 on the open market for sure. Yeah, I still question his offensive upside. I know he had a good start there, but hard to say. If they think either one of those guys can take him over right away, then my thinking is that Trocheck is going to want 7 to 7.5, and I don't think he'll be back. But I don't think they want to pay him much more than 6.5. If you look on it's up to him. I mean, if he likes in Carolina, he's willing to take a cut just to stay there. Then great. But yeah, it's only 2 games. You go down to the AHL, how many goals did he score? I believe that's usually a better indication because you have a larger sample size. How come they don't have? Oh yeah, here we are. Jack Drury. He had 16 points in 23 games, 7 goals in 23 games. Yeah, that's usually that sample size will give you a better indication. That was in the minors. So what's the likelihood he's going to be like a 40-goal scorer right out of the? I mean, it has happened, but I would just say that it's not like the generally. He had 16 points in the AHL. That's But some guys play better with better players. Like he might be one of those guys that in the minors he doesn't really hit it out of the park, but there are occasional guys that do that. It's really weird that you have like Wahlstrom was like that. We talked about that in the Islanders. Wahlstrom is like that. I'm thinking Trocheck ends up going because he's going to want a long-term contract here. I just don't, because of all the reasons you just said. Yeah, I know World Juniors canceled. Sucks. Sucks. All the reasons you said. You got Drury coming up. You got Kokiniemi there. They can try them out, and if need be, they try to get a second line center some other way. Not to mention you'd still got Stahl. Their depth up the middle is pretty good. I don't see them giving Trocheck a long-term contract when they have guys that are probably going to take over that spot in a couple of years anyways, like 2-3 years maybe. So I think they would only want to give him a 3-year contract, and I just don't think Trocheck's going to accept that. I wouldn't if I were him. I wouldn't just take a 3-year contract. As much as I might want to stay in Carolina, as much as I like it there, he's going to be able to go on the open market, and centers are hard to find. Maybe Carolina can trade his rights and he can get an 8-year contract somewhere and they get a 3rd-round pick. Like the Calgary Flames would probably be interested, I would think. Yeah, Calgary Flames would probably be able to give him some kind of money like that. There's lots of teams that, I'm pretty sure there's lots of teams. Montreal, Detroit, Nashville, Columbus. Columbus would be in there. There'd be lots of teams in there for 7.5 or 8 years, I bet. Edmonton's not giving you Puljujärvi for a rental. They can't sign Trocheck to a long-term deal, so they're not gonna be able to have $7.5 million up for another player up the middle on their roster. I can't see them giving up Puljujärvi for that. Especially when they need defense more than anything. They do need a 3rd-line center, but they can't afford that expensive of a 3rd-line center. No, because I'm pretty sure he's going to get we're gonna trade him at the deadline. Can't trade him at the deadline. You're going to let him go for virtually nothing. And before free agency, they'll get a 3rd or 4th-round pick for him or something like that. They're probably trying to shop him for another center. I don't know what anybody's going to give you for that. Like, what's... I think he's got more value playing till the end of the year than trading him Now, no, Puljujarvi's not on the trade block at all. No, Puljujarvi's not on the trade block at all. I mean, somebody could probably pick him up for the right price, but they're not looking to trade Puljujarvi now. He likes it there. They like him. He's doing well. He's a good two-way winger. The only way he'd be on the trade block is if when his contract comes up, he's going to be too expensive for them. And I imagine they'll put him on a bridge. I think he's out too, isn't he? He's on COVID, isn't he? Yeah. What's his contract look like? Yeah, he's a restricted free agent. They're going to have to sign him. He's 23. They'll probably sign him to a 4-year contract or something like that. But they have no interest in trading Puljujarvi unless the return is like out of this world. They really like him there. It's a cool idea, but you're going to have to give up a lot. I don't see Teravainen's going to. They're not going to trade him for a rental. No way. No way. That's going to cost you a pretty penny to get Puljujarvi out of Edmonton right now. Puljujarvi likes it there. The thing about Edmonton is when they find guys that want to stay, they hold on to them. Because not too many people want to stay in Edmonton. Like right now, it's minus ridiculous. Let's put it that way. I think it's like minus 15 to 17 Fahrenheit right here now. Like, not too many people and their wives want to be hanging out in Edmonton in the winter. Now, that being said, we haven't had a cold winter like this in a long time. It's supposed to be this cold for 2 to 3 weeks now. And, we don't even know past then. So, yeah, that would make sense. That would be a good idea. By the way, how you doing, Bill? Thanks for coming in, buddy. Sending Rouse to Providence makes a heck of a lot of sense. I mean, the guy hasn't played for a long time. Look what the Oilers are doing to poor Smitty right now. Like, Smith should be going down to Providence for a while, or should be going down to the minors for a while to get some playing time in before he plays tonight. I love Smitty. He's a warrior, but my gosh, man. The guy hasn't played in a long time. You're just going to throw him in against St. Louis of all teams? I mean, you're going to throw him in against St. Louis with their shooters for a 39-year-old guy who hasn't played for months. Look at the goaltenders last night, and that had only been like, a week or so? He hasn't played for months. So I think it would be a very good idea to put Rass down to Providence for a while, for sure. And I think it would be a good idea for them to put Smith down for a while, but they don't, I don't know. Edmonton does some weird stuff, man. That's another risk for an injury. Yeah, for sure. Bang on, Bill. Like, I mean, it's stupid. And Smith is not going to say no. Smith is one of those guys that he just thinks he's superhuman and can do anything. And, he's not going to say no. Hey, I'm ready. All right. But you got to make the decision for him. And, yeah. The thing is, though, with Smith, he could end up playing absolutely unbelievable tonight. He's been one of my favorite goaltenders for years and years. When he was in Arizona, I just absolutely loved him. The guy is a beast, like a warrior guy. He does stuff like this all the time where he'll come in with nothing, cold, and just play his heart out. And, you know, he could be okay, but, I mean, do you want to risk it? You got the whole season yet to go, and you saw what it was like to have Koskinen in there. And now you're going to go throw Smith in with cold? It's the worst management in the league, I would say. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's been an ongoing thing in Edmonton to have terrible management and coaching. It's been an ongoing thing. The owner of the Oilers wouldn't know what good management and coaching is to save his life. Like, you'd think this is a guy who is a billionaire who built a Rexall from nothing. You think he would have a pretty good feel for what you need, but he doesn't seem to. He doesn't seem to. It's just what he needed was they could have got Zito or Ruda or somebody like that. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe those guys didn't want to come to Edmonton. I don't know. But I wouldn't see why. Why, as a general manager, would you not want to go to a place that already has McDavid and all that stuff like that in there? And you just got to build around that and build your legacy? I don't know. There's a little insides of all of that I don't know. But, I mean, Kenny Holland absolutely butchered the Detroit team at the end there. Motimbo. Yeah, I almost got the win for them, but I mean, Tampa Bay played like horse crap last night too, so it was a combination of the both. But Motimbo played pretty good, and I hope he keeps on going so I can keep on saying his name over and over and over again. I haven't did a Pearlo dance for a while. Just random Pearlo dance, everybody. Let's go. Let's get her going. And people leave. Look at that. As soon as I Pearlo dance, people leave. Why would you leave? If you saw a guy going like this, at the very least, wouldn't you stick around for a little bit to see what's going on? Like, just, you would see it and go, oh no, like you're all afraid or something? I don't know. Yeah, I think Tampa Bay played terrible last night, but I mean, that was one of the better games Molten Bowl has played in his career, for sure. For sure. It was cool to watch. Yeah, it's something about that kid, you root for him. Big, bulky, you know, he's a guy that has been working with his awkwardness his whole career, and he gets better and better every year, but he still has holes in his game. And I don't know, there's something about him. I heard him in interviews and stuff. Maybe it's just because he seems like he's such a nice kid that you kind of root for him. And I definitely didn't watch the last game, but what happened there? Did anybody watch that Sharks game last night? Like, nobody could stop a puck, obviously. How many shots were on that? The Coyotes outshot the Sharks 46-27. That's ridiculous. Who had the most shots? Keller had 4. Krause had 5. Krause had 4 points last night. So Reimer did play well last night. Sort of. That's a crazy night. What are the Sharks doing? But they said that, yeah, they were saying that because yeah, that wouldn't surprise me actually if Carey Price took the whole year off. It wouldn't surprise me if Carey Price has played his last game in Montreal. It wouldn't surprise me if he's played his last game in Montreal, really. But I don't know who would trade for him if he doesn't play, though. That's the thing. You would think he has to play. Yeah, he would have to play. He's got to come back and play some games. But I wouldn't doubt at all if Carey Price is it's done for him in Montreal. The thing is I just don't know who would trade for him now. Yeah, two great teams or two bad teams. Two bad teams, I think. But I mean, you got to give your head a shake if you let Arizona score 7 goals on you. And the night before too, the game before that too, they scored more goals in the last 2 games than I think they scored all year. It's crazy. So the games tonight, we did talk about them, but we got some new people in here. Is there any more news here? Canceled. OHL to reinstate Logan Mailloux. Oh! The OHL has announced that Logan Mailloux, a member of the London Knights and first-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens, will be reinstated from his indefinite suspension. So, now you want to get into some. Bergevin got absolutely lambasted for picking that kid. Bobrovsky. That's the thing I don't like about that game is Bobrovsky's in net. The Rangers could win for that reason. But I don't know. Bobrovsky's so bad. I wouldn't pick a side because they got Barkov and Huberdeau back. So I got something on the total on that one. But that Mailloux guy is going to be reinstated to the OHL. And Bergevin got absolutely lambasted for picking that kid. Now, he said that when he talked to the kid, it sounds like he for sure was, very sorry and willing to take his lumps. And it just sounded like a really immature thing he did. And I don't think it's going to should chase him his whole life, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but obviously the OHL doesn't think so too. And now Montreal, like that kid is really, really good too. He's a very, very good defenseman. He would have went way higher than that if he didn't do what he did, whatever it was that he did. He would have went way higher than that. Yeah, I agree as a general manager, but I don't agree for what happened there. Although, when the kid says don't draft me, probably don't draft him, I guess. But in the end, I think they end up going to get a really good player who was very immature, made a very immature mistake, but will grow from this and become a better person and will probably be fine. Like, he's got to watch his P's and Q's now. I'm sure he got reinstated with conditions that he do a whole bunch of things and stay away from a whole bunch of things in order for them to not make the league look bad in any way. Like, he's on a short leash, I'm sure. And in all likelihood, he'll keep that on that short leash, build up his reputation again. Look at Kaner. Kaner had, I don't know what happened there, but it didn't sound like it was too good. He got over it, is one of the best, maybe the best U.S. born player of all time now. People make stupid decisions. I don't know. The people that just absolutely lambaste this kid and all of that stuff like that, did they do nothing wrong when they were young? Like, I don't know about you, but I did some stupid stuff at 18 years old. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. Stuff that I should be in jail for, okay? So, I don't know. Cast the first stone, I guess. Ducharme said something today? What, based on Malieu or what? He commented on that today? Let's see if it's in the article. This is what the kid said. Malieu was suspended in September after news spread of an incident that took place in Sweden where he was playing during the 2021 season. He was charged with taking and distributing an offensive photo without consent, of which he was convicted in December 2020. He renounced himself at the NHL draft, and this is what he said. I renounce myself from the 2021 NHL draft and ask that no one select me in this upcoming weekend. I feel that this would allow me the opportunity to demonstrate my adequate level of maturity and character next season with the London Knights in the OHL and provide all NHL teams with the opportunity to reassess my character towards the 2022 draft. And the Canadians chose him anyways. And everybody went mad. And I don't even know exactly what all the details of it were or whatever the case may be. But I don't even know what the whole details are. But it sounds like he slept with some older lady and they took pictures and he passed it to people. She found out, lost her mind. And yeah, I mean, that's brutal. That's somebody's privacy and all that kind of stuff like that. But for the love of God, man, you don't think, like, how many teenagers that did something stupid like that? Is it stupid? Sure, absolutely no doubt about it. But does that make him out to be, like, people made him out to be like he was some serial rapist or something like that. It was, I don't know. Sounded like a huge overreaction to me anyways. Anyways, so bar down. Oh, about that. Yeah, the goalie interference. I guess we didn't really talk about that. Okay, I looked at that too. I'm not a fan or not a fan or whatever. I'm not a fan of Montreal Canadiens or anything. Yeah, it was about Gallagher last night. Got pushed into the goaltender, and he didn't believe it should have been interference. And he said basically if it wasn't Gallagher's number on the back, he wouldn't have got nailed for it. Well, what happened was he did get pushed towards the goaltender, but Gallagher purposely put his stick on the pad and moved the pad while he did it. Or it appeared to me and the referee on the ice that he purposely put his stick into the pad of the goaltender, even though he was pushed in. He took it one step further and put his stick out and moved the pad of the goaltender. So the question then is, did his stick move the pad incidentally, or did he do it on purpose? The referee on the ice judged at that moment that he did it on purpose. When they reviewed it, they can't deny that it's possible that it was on purpose. And since it was the call on the ice, it has to be, very noticeable or whatever that it was on purpose or it wasn't on purpose for them to overrule it. And it wasn't it wasn't for sure. It was a judgment call whether it was on purpose or not. Because it was a judgment call, they go with the judgment on the ice, and that makes the goal not good. I agree with the call. I don't know if I agree with the call from the referee on the ice necessarily, and if you're looking at it from that way, maybe because it's Gallagher and Gallagher's always, doing stuff like that they instinctively say that Gallagher did it on purpose. Possibly. Guess what? But, I mean, let's face it, you're talking about a human reaction. And Gallagher does stuff like that all the time. And that's a truth. So if you don't want a referee's instinct to be that you did that on purpose, stop doing it on purpose on a regular basis. And Gallagher's never going to do that because he's that type of player and everybody loves him for it. He's a rat. Everybody loves him for the rat that he is, or at least anybody on the team loves him for the rat that he is. But the bad part about being a rat like that is, those calls don't generally go your way. So, didn't go his way. And, that's going to happen. And, of course, Ducharme is going to make a statement like that to hopefully keep it fresh in the refs' minds, especially the ones that were on the ice at the time, that they kind of owe them one. So maybe next time, subconsciously, they think, not consciously, but subconsciously, they give them a call thinking that they owe them one. That kind of play always, you're always playing like that. Coaches are always playing like that. If you can convince a ref that you owe them one, you try it, And Ducharme was doing that, trying to convince the ref that he owed him one. We didn't even talk about the Sabres and Devils. Sabres and Devils, the Devils, this Lindsay Ruff drives me crazy. He will not tell you who the goaltender is going to be. He won't tell you. It's going to be Mackenzie Blackwood, I'm pretty sure. And the Sabres are going with the Luukkonen kid again. He's been playing like pretty much lights out. It's a tough game. New Jersey's got almost everybody back in their lineup, and Buffalo is missing some pretty key players. Skinner, if you can say Skinner's a key player. Funny, we wouldn't have said that 2 years ago, but now you can actually kind of say he's a key player right now. But they get Alex Tuck back tonight. His first game after his injury. I don't know how good he's going to be, but and Jason Peterka, who's been playing in the minors, he's coming up for his first game as an NHLer. 20 points in 23 games in Rochester. Those are some pretty good numbers. Tage Thompson will be the #1 center again. Peyton Krebs plays his first game as a Buffalo Sabre after getting traded from Vegas. I don't think he's been 14 points in 16 games, -10. That doesn't really mean too much. And then on defense, they get Dahlin and Yoki Haru, which is big. But they lose. I saw they lose today. Oh, Jacob Bryson, who's been playing very well. 5'9", 185, defensive defenseman. You don't see that too much in the NHL. But anyways, Casey Fitzgerald comes in with Pissick, Butcher, and Prowl. That's where I'm like, I think New Jersey might be able to take this. Ethan Prowl has never been able to keep it up in the NHL. Today's the day I'm going to push puck on you. By now you should have. No, I always push it through. Huh? Oh, okay. I got you. French accent. He said maybe. Today is the day I'm going to push puck on you. Yeah. Maybe. He pushed it already. He did it on purpose. Oh, Wonderwall. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. He pushed it. I believe he did. I believe he did it on purpose. I believe he did it on purpose because I would do it on purpose. If I were him, I would have did it on purpose. I mean, try to make it look like you're not, but if you're trying to win, you're going to do that. So I don't believe it's necessarily because it's Gallagher. I think most players in that spot would have been trying to get the puck and push it in there, and hopefully they can get away with it looking like they didn't try to do it on purpose. But I think the referee got it. I don't think it's because it was Gallagher. I just think it was because it was. I think just about any player would have tried to do the same thing. But not any player would be trying to do what Gallagher did there. That's what makes Gallagher so awesome. Gallagher was fighting through a check and, like he always does, giving up his body to score. He's going to do everything in his power. He's going to cheat. He's going to do everything. There's no doubt about it. And everybody loves him for that. So his reputation is that. So he loses that one on his reputation? I don't think so. I think any player that plays like him would have did that in that spot. And he got caught. I don't know which headshots you're talking about. I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't know which one specifically you're talking about, but there was people that said that Truba was a headshot on. I didn't see it. Any player that knocked a player out cold. Are you talking about like Truba? The Truba hit? I didn't see anything wrong with that hit. If that's what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Truba hit? Can't remember who he hit, but the guy got whiplash. I didn't see how Truba did anything wrong on that hit. If that's the one you're talking about, I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm pretty sure if any referee saw a hit where the guy was directly to the head and got knocked out, they're calling it. They're not going to not call it. They maybe didn't see it, but they're going to call it for sure. Yeah, I mean, if if somebody purposely hits somebody in the head and the ref sees it, they're going to call that. Even if they don't call it, I think the league can look at it no matter what. So there will be some hockey on tonight. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, yeah, I was talking about the New Jersey Devils. I think New Jersey should win that game. It's just they've been playing so poorly. I put a lot of faith in Lindy Ruff, but I'm not so sure anymore. That team is not playing up to their ability. I know they need to get bigger and tougher and stuff like that, but they're better than that. They're better than their record shows. They got tons of speed there, but they're not playing with it they're not playing with it in a way that can be effective. Like they get caught deep in the zone, and since they don't have a lot of physical players, they can't. It's not a game that they can win with. They can't get caught deep in the zone. They can't dump and chase. They gotta play a possession game, and I don't know. I don't know if it's a system problem or what it is, but they got everybody in the lineup tonight. And Buffalo, on the other hand, does play with a great simple system that Granato has there. So it wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo wins tonight, even though they got a whole crapload of people out. I don't think he's been horrible, but I think the team in general has. I think like it's sort of like Sanheim in Philadelphia. Sanheim is not going to look good if the team isn't moving their feet. And for Hamilton, those kids don't know where to be on the ice. They don't know where to be for an outlet pass. They're all over the place. And he's sitting there going, okay, I want to pass it to someone. And they're like either cherry picking or they're too deep. They look like they are completely out of sync. I don't know. I don't think that's really Hamilton's fault. Uh, I don't know who you put fault on that, but more than likely, I mean, they're very young kids and they're learning. But I would have thought they would have learned more than that by now. I actually had maybe New Jersey being a bubble team, but not anymore. I don't see it. It's been what has Hamilton got so far? 17 points in 27 games. That's just the points, but um, For me, the forwards just don't know what they're doing. When they are making outlet, when they are getting set up for an outlet pass, they're all over the place. There's no continuity to what they're doing. So it's hard for me to judge. It's like Sanheim gets absolute crap in Philadelphia, but again, that's another one where the same thing. It's hard to judge a defenseman when you have forwards that have no idea what they're doing. I still think Hamilton's a very good defenseman. I think he's an exceptional defenseman still. But you know, it's going to be pretty. Look at Chychrun in Arizona. Chychrun is going to be probably in Norse conversations down the road. But on that Arizona team, he looked absolutely horrible. For the same reason. It was just, yeah. If a team's not clicking, the defensemen are usually the ones that look the worst. If forwards aren't clicking on a team. Hamilton on Carolina was awesome. His possession stats were insane. He was very good. They're just not going to pay really hardly anybody $9 million for 8 years. I think he gets traded before. He gets traded at the deadline, Fleury. I think for sure he gets traded at the deadline. I think the whole plan was for him to get traded at the deadline, honestly. This new management probably wouldn't have did what they did to Fleury. Because he came out and said that he has a different philosophy than Stan Bowman and them. I wouldn't say he's a liability now. He's average. He's average defensively. It all depends on what a coach is telling Hamilton to do. Brind'Amour was telling Hamilton to risk it and take offense because he had a whole bunch of defensemen there that could take up on the defensive side. You got a guy with Hamilton's type of offensive instincts, you got to let him go, man. I think, anyways, I would. If I had Hamilton on my team, I'd be like, take risks. Play on the offensive side of the game. We got a good goaltender there. We need to get the puck up the ice. I would do that. And it looks like they're doing it in New Jersey too. If you put him on if the Islanders would have got him, you would see a different Hamilton. For sure. I bet. But D'Angelo, on the other hand, he was a guy that you had to take back a little bit. D'Angelo's worse defensively than Hamilton is. But this year, he's taken it back a little bit. Before he got to the Carolina, though, he was horrible defensively. Subban, I'd say he's better than Subban defensively for sure. Analytics-wise, Hamilton is better than Subban defensively right now. Subban a couple of years ago, but now he's terrible defensively. Subban is sort of like it's maybe a notch above Barry. Hamilton is probably about as good as he's better than Nurse. Hamilton's better than Nurse defensively. That tells you something right there. DeSmith does suck. Yeah. It looked like he might have been all right there for a bit, but no. No. He's not all right. What else we got tonight? Capitals, Predators. Like I said, I'm taking the Predators. I just like their style of game. I think they're going to surprise the crap out of the Capitals. Well, McCarr takes a lot of risks, but he's got the speed to get back. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a special breed of player there, McCarr. That's a special breed of player that can be solid defensively and offensively like that. I mean, he's like top 4 in the world right now, top 3 in the world, top 3 in the world. McCarr, Fox, McCarr, and Slavin. Fox, McCarr, Slavin, and Hedman. Put him wherever you want to put him in there. I'd say that's the top 4 defensemen in the league. I might be missing somebody there, but yeah, I think Fleury could go back to Pittsburgh for sure. I've talked about that several times here, yeah. The thing, Jari playing so well has kind of put a wrench in their plans almost. I'm not sure, but I think it would be too hard. No, I think they'll still do it. If Fleury's playing on the top of his game, he's better than Jari. He's better than almost anybody in the league. I mean, if Pittsburgh has a chance at all, if Pittsburgh now has got a year, maybe 2, of a window of opportunity here, and I would say absolutely go for it. Yeah, Lauren, the question about Owen Power, as it is with any defenseman like that's big like that, he gets away with a lot because of his size. In junior, like players won't even go near him because they know they can't get him off the puck. It'll be interesting to see what will happen when he comes to the NHL, and most of the league can knock you off the puck. It doesn't matter that you're that big. They can find a way to get the puck off you. That'll be the biggest thing. But he's ripping it up in college. He's a great passer. He reminds me of Hamilton, actually. He reminds me a lot of Hamilton. He's not that physical, but he's big enough that players in junior and stuff like that, they know they're not going to be able to do anything with them physically, so they stay away from him. So it gives him a ton of room that he wouldn't get. He reminds me of Hamilton, yeah. I think Hamilton has great defensive instincts. It depends on how you ask him to play. I don't know. Is Power gonna like? I don't think Power is like a McCarr. I don't think he's that good. The defense is really different. No, he's no way he's Chris Pronger. He's nowhere near as physical as Chris Pronger is. He reminds me of, Hamilton. He reminds me of Hamilton. That would be my guy. Chris Pronger, could beat you in pretty much any way you want. He was physically dominating in the NHL. Like, I don't know what a junior player like would look like with Chris Pronger. I mean, it'd be better than Power though. Like that's rare air type stuff. He would be. If Chris Pronger was in college today, he would probably get like 1.5 points a game. He would be playing now, no doubt about it. Like he would not have went back to college again. No way. No way. Right? 18 years old, that he would have been playing, just like he was when he did for Hartford. No. Oh yeah. Well, guys, that's my full 42, I guess. I can't wait till people start coming back off the holidays. We get a bigger crowd so we can keep on talking. But Lauren, Bill, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming in. Everybody that came in today will see what these games are going to turn out like tonight. And I'm sure we're going to have tons to talk about tomorrow. Love talking to you guys. Have a great day. See you at 1:30 or 3:30 Eastern tomorrow. That's my full 42. Okay, bye.